What is going on, guys? It's G, and we are back in the building. We are back here for another match reaction. It's another game. It's another game I'm looking at Liverpool, and I'm like, how the hell did you walk away with 3 points? But walk away with 3 points, we did, and that is against West Ham at Anfield. Goals coming today from Mo Salah, who scored a penalty. West Ham then hit back through Jared Bowen in that first half. I believe first half, yeah, in that first half. And then obviously Nunez and Diogo Jota coming off the bench to seal the game off. Let me know who you guys think obviously is the man of the match. Let me know what your ratings for the performance. And I mean the performance in totality. Obviously, you guys have heard me on the Jerry James show already today. You've heard my agendas. You've heard my agendas. Nah, but all jokes aside, you guys have heard me there. Let me know just in a general sense what you guys think in terms of the performance from Liverpool today. Are you guys actually happy with the way that Liverpool are playing? Do you think we could be a lot better than this? Do you think that we are very, very close to the complete Liverpool or whatever you believe that to be? Do you think we even need to be at that level to keep winning these games? Let me know, obviously, what you guys think in the comment section, please. We are on the road to 900 subs, so please, please, please make sure if you haven't done so already to smash that subscribe button, like, share, and subscribe. Let's get into it, people.
Through the lot, now you know I'm coming through. When the growth look good on you, best believe they wanna screw now. I've been trying to climb, devil threw me in the dark. Baby, don't be insecure, you can still go make a mark like blow. Could never let them drain my soul now. Blow. Table turning like doorknobs, wow. Blow. I think I'm about to set sail. I'm a walking, living legend, walking with my chest out. Life keep dealing me cards, I keep fitting in love.
Boom! As I said, people, we're here for another match reaction. As I mentioned earlier on in that introduction there, I am very, very, like, I keep watching Liverpool play. We played now, just that 6 Premier League games. We've got ourselves 5 victories and a draw. I've not been convinced in any game bar the Aston Villa game. I am generally bewildered. Well, on the one hand, I'm bewildered at how we are super, super lucky, how Liverpool are not conceding more in these games. I mean, we played the 6 Premier League games. We have conceded in every single game bar one, which was against Aston Villa. So obviously we're still conceding goals, we're still conceding chances and things like that. But that's obviously part and parcel, and we're always going to do that just because of the way that we set up and the way that we play. I'm just more shocked at the fact that teams are not putting us to the sword. Now, we've got some fantastic attackers. You know, when you're able to, you know, play Luis Diaz, Darwin Nunez, Mo Salah, Cody Gakpo, Diogo Jota, you know, when you can play these guys, you know, in the attack, of course, you've got the firepower, probably the best firepower, you know, in terms of as a total, rather than obviously City having the best striker in the league. But we've got the best attack in terms of the different types of players we can bring on and off the bench and stuff like that. So maybe that's going to be, you know, what propels us forward, you know, this season. But when I'm watching Liverpool, I'm just like, obviously, you know, we spoke on the Jerry James show. A lot of people, you know, crying their eyes out, moaning and stuff like that in terms of the scores and the ratings that we're obviously giving to certain players and stuff like that. But you guys know me and Jerry, you know how we rate players. If you guys want to see our ratings, please head on over there. I'm not going to do a necessary rating, so to speak, here just really to talk about a couple of players. But yeah, I just honestly, I just genuinely think that we're at a stage right now. Obviously, this hopefully anyway. I mean, I hope not. This isn't the Liverpool that, you know, this is what Liverpool are going to be like. Because if so, this team won't really win too much. It will excite us as it always does, but it won't be a team that's capable of winning anything, in my personal opinion. But then. So that's why I say hopefully we will obviously get to a position where we will be that type of team. But I do think, and, you know, I mentioned this on the Jerry James show. I mentioned, you know, Liverpool fans and stuff like that. I'm a fan as well, so I'm included. But at time, I just feel like we over-exaggerate points and stuff like that. You know, we over-exaggerate performances of players. And sometimes we over-exaggerate how poorly someone might have potentially done. You know, we always put ourselves in that position where it's either really high or really low. It's never really a happy medium, you know, with some players. And again, everyone's got agendas on certain players and certain things like that. And I know that's what a lot of people were, you know, moaning about in terms of the scores that we were giving certain players and stuff like that. You know, people felt that certain players should be a lot higher, you know, in because of today's performance. I know a lot of you looked at Darwin Núñez. Obviously, he's one player. Today, I thought he had a good performance today. Like that was like a 7.5 type of performance, you know. Should have scored before he actually scored. He should have scored before that. That's Darwin Núñez. Yeah, he's one of those type of players, as I mentioned before. Even in today's game, did I think he had an all-round good game? It was decent. It was decent. I don't think he really got the better of the West Ham United's defense, if I'm being totally honest with you. But obviously got that goal, which is a decent goal. Should have scored obviously the other one, which was, I felt, a lot easier to score. But you know, that's Darwin Núñez, and you know, people will say, well, as long as he's getting in the, you know, getting the chances and stuff like that, and maybe so. But obviously there are levels to this. I just want someone who can just be clinical. He hasn't proved that he can be clinical, but he's proved that he can score goals, but just not at a clinical rate. Maybe that's just the best I've got to kind of hope for someone like him. But in today's game, yeah, like I mentioned, you know, I just didn't really feel like he got really the best out of. I don't feel like we really got the best out of him anyway because of the way that West Ham set up. If you guys go back and watch my preview, that's why I wanted Cody Gakpo to play, because I knew the way that West Ham were going to kind of set up was pretty similarly to how they set up. It's only really in that second half when, you know, Núñez did score, that's when things start to open up a little bit. West Ham, again, just like all the other teams, whether you want to admit it or not, they end up getting tired and they start to lack the intensity, you know, that they had in that first half. You know, in that first half, West Ham should have scored 2 before Liverpool even got the penalty to even score the 1. You know, they really should have been 2-0 up. And if they'd been 2-0 up against West Ham side, who are very, very good this season, I felt like it would have been a completely and utterly different type of game. But ultimately, people just want to deal with the facts, which is true. And that's what I like to deal with. Ultimately, they didn't do that. We obviously went 1-0 up, courtesy of Mo Salah. And then they obviously hit back, which I felt was... you know, through obviously Jared Bowen here, just getting himself ahead of Virgil van Dijk. Yeah, I felt like it was well deserved. They should have been ahead anyway in the game. So for them to get that goal, it was kind of like, okay, cool, you lot kind of deserve that anyway. So, you know, we'll kind of give you that, you know, kind of thing, obviously heading into that half time. And then it was just a bit like, you know, what we've kind of seen from Liverpool in a general sense this season, which is we are the second half warriors. We're constantly having these kind of second halves. Why we start so slow, I have no real idea. I don't know. Someone's gonna have to speak to Klopp, because we start these games with such a lack of intensity. Now, this first half was better than other first halves we've actually had, which is crazy to think, because I don't even think we was that good. But that shows you how shit we've been in the other games. So this first half was obviously better than other games that we've had, but still, again, it's still another half where I'm looking at the game and I'm sitting there thinking, Jesus Christ, no real control in the middle of the park, defense all over the gaff. Don't really know who's the leader in the team, you know, who's really marshalling anything. Allison's having to pull off saves and, you know, having to do certain things. Yet again, it's the same. I've been saying it's crazy. And this is why I started off with this video saying I'm almost at disbelief at how Liverpool just keep winning games. I actually admire them for that, because I'm just like, how you can be so poor, you know, in a general sense, and still be coming away 3-1 here, 3-1 there, 2-1 here, 2 whatever, 3-0 against Villa. Like, how you're coming away from these games with wins, I have to admire you for that. I really, really do have to admire, you know, Liverpool's kind of resolve, you know, for being able to do things like that. But whether it's sustainable at this moment in time, it's sustainable. You know what I mean? It's sustaining, you know, at this current moment in time. There's nothing really to necessarily say, because if it's getting Liverpool the wins, as I mentioned before, I don't mind scumming my way, you know, with shit performances, but getting a title or challenging or whatever kind of thing. But I just don't feel like, I feel like the penny will drop at some point. I hope not. I really, really do hope not. But I do feel like the penny, you know, will ultimately drop, you know, with Liverpool, because I just don't really feel the way that we kind of play in, the way that we set up and stuff like that. And one player who kind of really epitomizes that is actually this guy here, and that's Alexis McAllister. You guys, again, if you watch my video that I put out earlier on this week, talking about how to get the best out of McAllister, that was more of a plea to Klopp. Now I know he got the assist for Darwin Núñez's goal, but I felt like his all-round play was actually really, really poor. I felt like his all-round game was really, really poor. I felt like, yet again, we're talking about him being bypassed in the midfield, him being bullied in the midfield. Very good on the ball. That's McAllister, like, through and through. He's always going to be good on the ball. He's always going to be someone who's comfortable taking the ball in certain type of areas of the pitch. But I just feel like the way that we're using him, I'm just not feeling whatsoever. And I don't care what nobody says. I don't care what statistic you want to bloody well show me. I'm just not really feeling that, if I'm being, 100% honest with you. And I think it needs to change, because otherwise he's just going to fade. He's really, really going to fade. Obviously, you can potentially take him out the limelight, but I mean, I don't know who you're going to play there. I mean, maybe that's why Gravenberch, potentially, if he's able to, get more up to speed and stuff with the way that Liverpool play, maybe he can become an option, for Liverpool. But at the moment, I just feel like we're misprofiling someone like Alexis McAllister, just like the same way we misprofiled Thiago. And Thiago is a shadow. Absolute. This is even without the injuries. He's a shadow, of the player that we saw at Bayern Munich. Not even close to that type of player. He can never be talked about in the same breath as that type of player. And that's, again, without taking away the injuries. Just look at his performances and things like that. For me, nah, and it's the same thing that it looks like with McAllister. Obviously, it's still early on in his career, but this is the second game in a row where I thought, yeah, it started off like, okay, you know what, first couple of games, whatever, and then we've just gone down, and it's just, to me, this doesn't look like it's getting much better, with someone like McAllister. I hope it does. I really do like the kid. I just think we're just playing in wrong position, wrong type of roles, instructions, all these kind of various different things. But ultimately, Klopp's going to still persist with it. So hopefully it just kind of bangs at some point in time. But I don't know if that's going to be the case. That's kind of like my only issue, if I'm being totally honest with you. So Bozolai, I know the fans call him Steven Gerrard. I'm not going to go too deep into him, in regards to what I think of him. All I do know is that his running around and Jordan Henderson-like kind of role that he is doing here, Liverpool really need it, and he can really do it down to a T, and it is quite important for the team. That's really all I've got to realistically kind of say on someone like Szoboszlai. I think we need that in our midfield. We need, for some reason, we just, down that right-hand side especially, we just need to have someone in there who can kind of do that job, and he's able to, do that. He played well alongside or in front of Joe Gomez. He did help to provide that level of stability, which also helped Joe Gomez to have a decent game as well. I feel like he was just cool. Like, I don't know what's the best way to kind of say it, but yeah, I felt like he was just cool. He was really, 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 really just cool. And then also my man of the match for the day, Curtis Jones. People talk about players doing like the boring stuff, and people always like to bring up like assists and goals and all of that. And again, look, sometimes the assist or the goal or whatever it might be, that might be one of the reasons as to why you might pick this individual to be your man of the match or whatever. And I totally get that. And sometimes it does actually make sense. But today, it's not that with Curtis Jones. I think Curtis Jones today, against West Ham, I felt like in both phases, both defensively and the offensive phases of play, I felt like he was actually solid. I felt like he was good. I felt like he was decent on the ball. Again, like I mentioned in that first half, I still felt we were poor, but we were just a bit better than we have been in these other games. But I also felt he was also a part of that. But yeah, like I said, he was my man of the match. That's kind of really it, if I'm being 100% honest with you. I'll be frank with everyone. Ultimately, and as I said on the Jerry James show, me personally, I dislike the way that Liverpool play. It's not enjoyable in my personal opinion. I think we're wasting a lot of players, which I feel like if they were at certain other teams, they wouldn't be wasted in the way that we are. But what we are is very, very efficient. And that's why you'll see victories and we'll go on these long runs and stuff like that. But I can't see how anybody can try and convince me that this is good. A team that constantly concedes goals is not a team that's going to win anything. It's a team that, yeah, maybe for now, of course, it's great because you're getting the win. So in retrospect, it actually doesn't even really, it doesn't actually really matter. But ultimately, when we're talking about over the long period, and that's how I like to look at things, is the overall kind of picture. yes, the here and now is good, and it plays a part for that overall picture. But ultimately, yeah, I don't think. I don't see it the way that everyone else is seeing it. But who knows? Do you know what I mean? I could be completely wrong. Liverpool win the league by conceding a goal in every single game in the Premier League season. First time I think that would have happened, to my knowledge. And then we move on. And if that's the case, and that's how we win the league, like I said, I don't mind scumming my way to a title. I'm not going to be too fussed about that. But ultimately, I just don't see that happening, because you've got another team who are worlds apart better than us. And you've got other teams who can also challenge as well in Arsenal. And who knows, maybe even Tottenham. We'll see how that game obviously goes with them next weekend. But yeah, it is one of those kind of things. And I do think I just want to see Liverpool a bit more assured defensively. Once I see that, then everything else is calm. The attacking, in terms of our attack in itself, that part of our play is absolutely fine. It's just the build up and defensively when we are in those transitions. That's where I feel that Liverpool, are just lacking a bit. And I think that it's one of those I feel that the penny will drop. And once it drops, Jesus Christ, you're going to hear that clangor. I promise you, you're going to hear that clangor. And I don't want it to, because I feel like it's going to be bad when you do, finally hear it. Once a team clicks into gear, bang, bang, Liverpool concede, lose. And that's not what I want. But when you've got this attack can obviously take you quite far. So let's wait and see. Let's obviously, wait and see. I'll quickly show you guys the league table. Oh, before I even show you the league table, actually, take a look at, obviously, a little look at West Ham. So you guys can obviously see it. Yeah, perfect. So obviously, yeah, look, you can see West Ham, obviously. Again, don't look at the ratings and stuff like that. This is just more to just show you guys the position. For me, man of the match of the whole game was actually Paqueta. He bossed the entire midfield. This is why I say don't look at stats, because stats, their whole metric system is, it's a bit weird. But yeah, in terms of me, it was Paqueta. There was nobody better than him on the pitch at all, in my personal opinion. Absolutely bossed that midfield, both defensively, both offensively as well. Was offering himself as an outlet. Very, very good link-up play with both Antonio, Bowen, and James Ward-Prowse. Was giving himself his options, finding pockets of spaces and stuff like that. Good dribbling ability, bullying certain midfielders, in that midfield. I remember the little nutmeg he did onto Bozolai, and then he absolutely barged away, McAllister. That was kind of his performance, in the game. And I felt like when I'm watching that and the guile that he has on the ball, it's you can have the flair, and he's not pacey or anything like that. You can have the flair and stuff like that, but defensively, obviously, because of how things are in today's game, how are you defensively? How are you in that kind of area? And for me, absolutely excellent. Absolutely excellent. And he was my man of the match in total. I'd love if Liverpool were to, I would have preferred him than maybe a McAllister or something like that. Or Gravenberch. I felt like it'd probably be a bit more useful within the team. But him playing in those, as I think, again, I mentioned this in my match preview, playing in those kind of half spaces. I always knew he was going to play in that kind of space. He wasn't going to try and be an out-and-out winger. He would find himself there maybe on some occasions, but as an overall, he ain't going to realistically kind of do that. And yeah, very, very good player. We'll see what goes on with the whole situation that he's got, off the field. But very, very good player. James Ward-Prowse, dangerous deliveries that he had in there. Jared Bowen. Felt like he was a bit of a danger down that side at times. He was a bit of a danger. Robbo losing his man a couple of the times. Didn't really know where he was. Let him get past him quite easily a couple of the times. Or it's probably not going to show stats-wise, but just in terms of the actual overall play and stuff like that, running off of Robbo and stuff like that, coming inside, then almost bypassing Jones, getting in between the Van Dijks and Robbo. Sometimes they didn't really know whether to go, whether to come. We saw it with the goal as well. Antonio obviously bullying these guys at the back there, them two kind of getting a bit baffled and confused and whatever. And then obviously the play happening from there where Kufa obviously gets the ball into the box, and obviously Bowen obviously scores. What Van Dijk was doing there, I don't really know. Trying to think, is there anybody else on the pitch I wanted to have a little look at? Alisson was Alisson. Yeah, Jones was my best Liverpool player. He was my man of the match for Liverpool, but overall man of the match had to be Paqueta, man. That display really showed me something. It really did show me something. Yeah, it showed me. It made me understand why Pep Guardiola could use a player like that. But obviously, that's obviously Pep Guardiola. So we already know this guy can use almost anybody. But yeah, guys, let me know. In terms of the overall game, I will give it a 7 I think overall that was 7. 7's a very good score as well. I think 7's, for me anyway, is quite accurate. And sometimes you can just be a 7 and still win 3-1, which is exactly what we did today. So I don't think anyone should really take offense to it, or feel like, oh my goodness, being harsh. At the end of the day, 7's a very, very good score. Any high, I think, is just going over the top. I don't think it was that good. And I hope Liverpool get better. That's my main thing. I just hope Liverpool get better in terms of the performances, where we don't look so shaky defensively, where we don't look like we're going to concede a goal every single game. You know, we can't ever keep a clean sheet, all these kind of various different things. I'm just hoping that things do get better, obviously, in that regard. But, of course, we'll wait and see. Our next Premier League game is against Tottenham Hotspur. But just before that, we have got a game midweek against Leicester City at home in the Carabao Cup. So let's wait and see how that obviously pans out. Let me know who your man of the match was in the comment section. Let me know what your score is out of 10 for the game. And also let me know, you think I'm wrong, think I'm chatting shit, excuse me, don't agree with me. I love all of it. So please, and you guys know I'll always reply as well. So just let me know. Let me know what you're thinking and why you're thinking what you're thinking. Don't just say, oh, no, that's wrong or whatever. Tell me why. You know what I mean? If you've got any facts to back it up or whatever the case may be, please bring it to the table, man. I would love to kind of see things from other people's point of view or other people's perspectives, and then kind of understand and potentially get better at the way I'm looking at the game. So, yeah, man, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I'm G, and we are out.